my goal is to help you win your day. Because if you could focus on the winning, right, rather than fucking losing, or like where you're not at yet, or what you haven't done yet, and you're actually more focused on what you have done and the wins that you have accrued, then I believe that you're going to be able to set yourself free and release the shackles that have been holding you back.
She bruises calls, she splatters pistol shots, hold her down when soggy clothes and breeze blows.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a minute. You know, I've been on vacation and getting back. I gotta admit, man, I'm excited for the grind. I'm excited for the hustle. Is that weird? And I think it has to do with mindset. I think that is actually one of the main ingredients that actually separates people, is their perception of certain stimuli. If you're not familiar with stimuli is like excitement. Stimuli is worry. Stimuli is fear. It's a stimulation of some sort that you feel. And I believe that you can hack your stimuli, meaning you could hack your perception. In other words, anytime I feel like worried or anxious, I can hack myself to believe that I'm feeling excited or happy. Does that make sense? It's one of the main reasons why, you see like Olympic athletes or athletes that, they work hard to get their little 10 seconds or 30 seconds or 1 minute or however long that event takes for them to do their thing, whether it's a minute or a couple seconds. They should obviously be nervous, right? Like, shit, man, that's it, bro. Like, you fuck up. You know what I mean? There's no rewinds and shit. There's no like, hey, time out, bro. Nah, bro, you're in the Olympics, dog, in the big leagues. So you got to be ready. You can't fuck up, right? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, when we think about it, we have this stimuli every single day when we go into our day. And the stimuli is either, or watch this, motherfucker. Does that make sense? You ever get that? Like, it's the difference between you having to go, to your in-laws for like dinner or some shit. Or like, you know what I mean? Like that one uncle and auntie or something. And you're just like, fuck, here we go. They're going to tell me I'm doing everything bad. Or they're going to tell me I'm doing everything wrong. Or they're going to tell me that I made the wrong choices and I need to be different. It's the feeling you get when you're about to go in that event versus going to like, I don't know, Universal Studios, like Halloween Haunt and shit, right? Like, there's that anticipation, like, oh shit. And of course, these are stimuli, right? So this is excitement and this is dread, right? In perfect example. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I believe that you can hack these perceptions. You can hack the stimuli. And if you learn how to hack it, you'll actually find within ways to stay not only motivated, but to stay disciplined. And so why I bring this up is because, like I took almost a week and a half off, about 2 weeks off. And about 3 days in, like, it was cool, but I gotta be honest, I was really, really looking forward to, getting back to the grind, getting back to the work. And maybe it's just because I'm a creature of habit. Maybe I just like the process and the repetition of it all. But what I found is that it's just the way I've hacked my perception of certain stimuli. And so, if you've ever, and I know I have, if you've ever gotten closer to maybe the end of the weekend or the end of your vacation, right? And you notice that, like, you start kind of dreading, like, oh man, I only got one more day. Or you start counting down the days, like, man, I only got 2 more days. Man, I got 1 more day. And you start looking at the clock on the last day, like, man, this time tomorrow I'm going to be at work. And you just start dreading, like, what I've learned from doing that for so many years is that if you spend your time dreading, you're not actually enjoying the time off. And the whole point of being off is to be off the grid, right? It's to unplug. Because, we all have aspirations and desires to be the absolute best that we could be and to experience absolute most that we can. We all have internal desires to fulfill and to ultimately deliver the absolute best quality of lifestyle for ourselves and those that we share our life with. And so this is common. regardless of where you're at, regardless of what level you're at. This is basically it, you know? And I don't think that you'd be the opposite of that. Otherwise, what the fuck are you spending time watching this besides maybe you like, you know, I don't know, maybe you like me, shit. And I hope you do like me. But maybe you like my handsome smile or some bullshit like that. I don't know. But I imagine you're on this channel, you're watching this video because you're more interested in learning the right, you know, ingredients of the right mindset, right? Or maybe you want to learn, you know, some techniques on sales. But what I have found are that most of my followers and my audience are, oddly enough, not even in sales. It's crazy, right? And what I've learned also is that typically I'm followed by people who are just looking for motivation to get through the grind, get through the day. So comment below for me. Let me know below. Leave a comment. Let me know what your main reason is for following this channel or watching the content on this channel. Is it for motivation? Is it for sales technique and sales mentoring? Or is it just because you like the rhythm of my tone or my voice or kind of just the way I bring it, right? Like the rawness of it all. I really like to know. So please leave your feedback below. But anyway, I want to teach you a hack on how to change your perception on certain stimuli, because I don't want you to go through a weekend or a vacation or, you know, a time where you're supposed to be focused on yourself and treating yourself. I don't want you to waste any of that time dreading what's about to come or what's going to come up in a couple days. And typically what that means is that you're dreading going back to the process in which generates the income that you love or you like or you want, right? And the reason why that's important is because that process is ultimately what feeds the lifestyle that you want or love or need or have, whatever floats your boat, boo-boo. And so if you're like, you know, you walking all throughout the day like, man, I got to get these fucking Gucci flip-flops. There I go again with the Gucci flip-flops. So if you're walking throughout your day and be like, man, I got to get these Gucci flip-flops, bro. My life's going to suck unless I get these Gucci flip-flops, bro. And you're defining yourself through that object, which is basically the material item, right? The Gucci flip-flops, like that defines your happiness. What it means is that you're focusing your intent, your energy, and your hustle in the wrong direction. And it's okay. I used to do the same shit, right? I used to do the same shit for like watches, cars, and to some degree I still do. We all guilty, bro. But ultimately, the reason why we want these Gucci flip-flops or why we want these cars or these watches, speaking of cars, like look, case in point, like I had to upgrade the studio, right? Like, did you even notice? Different interior? Did you, right? Like, but because it's something that we, you know, it's the difference between wearing regular clothes, like wearing Kohl's, like suits. Man, don't lie, bro. You wore them Croft & Barrows, man. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the difference between like a Kohl's dress shirt. Like I used to, believe me, I used to get all my work clothes from Kohl's. Man, I used to spend like $80 and walk out with like 3 months worth of gear and shit. Anyway, the quality of it all, right? It makes you feel a certain type of way. And it's the same thing with those Gucci flip-flops. The reason why you want those Gucci flip-flops is because it makes you feel a certain type of stimuli. And so you can hack that stimuli, meaning that the stimuli that you perceive or you believe that you're going to get from those Gucci flip-flops, you can actually divert that attention and gain the same type of reaction or stimuli from hitting a top tier, you know, on your sales floor, or becoming the #1 salesperson in your company, right? You can divert that focus, because what happens is when you naturally focus on something, you're like, man, I got to get those Gucci flip-flops. I got to get those Gucci flip-flops. Ironically enough, you're bound to get them because your whole focus is on it. And so if you've ever, you know, been in a position where, you know, you got to figure something out and you're like, fuck, man, how am I going to do this? What the fuck am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do? And then you figure it out. It's because you're focused on it, right? Whereas if you weren't necessarily focused on it, or you didn't necessarily need to find out the answer, you just brush it off and be like, fuck it, and just move on. But if you're in a tight position where you're like, oh man, I fucking forgot to do this. I got 2 minutes to do this, right? Like, oh man, I completely forgot about this pitch. I got to get prepped. I got to get ready. What the fuck am I going to do? You know, and you end up doing it well. You end up putting it together because you put yourself under this particular type of pressure, and you're the stimuli that you felt of basically the fear is actually what caused you to react. Anyway, I don't want to go too deep on you, but what my whole point is that if you find yourself or you find your mood shifting, right? Like maybe towards the end of the weekend or towards the end of the vacation, opposite to the way, you know, like let's say, you know, when you get like it's Friday, right? Like when it gets to Friday, you naturally kind of in a good mood because maybe you don't have to work the next day, or maybe because you got somewhere to go that night. You know, there's that stimuli of excitement. Like it's just completely different than the way you feel probably Sunday night or Monday morning, right? But pay attention to it because these little things or these little stimuli basically ripple throughout your day. And so, for example, if you wake up in a bad mood, dreading going in and dreading that phone call or dreading that pitch, ultimately what's going to happen is that energy or that frequency is going to ripple throughout your day, throughout the entire day. And so just like when you drop something in water and you see the ripples spread, basically what happens is that rock that you drop is your stimuli, right? And so you have a choice. So you could, if you're dreading your day, it's like dropping a big ass rock in a pond and watching them bitches ripple. Well, those ripples that go throughout your day is basically your mood, your mindset, your momentum. And so if you're dreading going somewhere, like again, whether it's maybe dinner with your in-laws or dinner with your girlfriend's parents or your boyfriend's parents or that one uncle and auntie, or when you're dreading going into like a meeting or some shit like that, right? Like you just like, oh man, fuck, I don't want to do this. Sales training. Most salespeople hate sales training. So when you go into sales training, you're like, man, fuck. You know, that momentum fucks you up, bro. Like you gotta control that. So change the perception of the stimuli, look at the silver lining, look at the good of it all, and stop dreading on the bullshit. Because if you want to make more sales, if you want to get more out of life, it's all in your attitude. It's all in the way you perceive things. You get it? So if you ever been to like a Walmart versus like a Nordstrom, and if you shop at Walmart, I'm not saying anything bad about you, boo-boo. I was just at Walmart. I ain't got no shame to go buy some shit at Walmart. Please believe. But if you just pay attention to the atmosphere, you pay attention to the quality of mindset that you see when you're in Walmart versus fucking Target, even Target, right? Like you just like, oh man, this is a different motherfucking place. And then you step into somewhere like Nordstrom, right? Or fucking Bloomingdale's or some high end, like let's say Gucci or Louis Vuitton, right? There's just this prestigeness. It's different. The people in the arena are different. People in the surroundings are different. And it's all about the attitude. Well, why? Why is that, right? Why is the attitude at Walmart weaker than the attitude in the aura than, let's say, Prada? Or you walk in like Mont Blanc, right? Mont Blanc got some $1,000 pens. You know about that shit? Anyway, that's for another episode. But I hope that this message rings true. And again, please comment below. I'd love to know your feedback on what you find most valuable here on these channels, or what you want more of. And ultimately, you know, my goal is to help you win your day, because if you could focus on the winning, right, rather than fucking losing or like where you're not at yet or what you haven't done yet, and you're actually more focused on what you have done and the wins that you have accrued, then I believe that you're going to be able to set yourself free and release the shackles that have been holding you back. I know they've been holding me back, so let ourselves free. Let's fly this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'll see you at the top. Bye.